Hi, welcome viewers. I welcome you all of you. And in this video, I'm going to share with you one article of the Hindu dated 13th of May, 2021. And as we think of the Hindu, we think of UPSC preparations and all that. But I would like to make a mention here that this editorial is a must read for all of us. It is so because it is pertaining to the pandemic. I hope and pray Almighty that all of you, your near and dear ones, are keeping safe and would continue to be safe. And prior to that, let's have a look over the vocabulary that is essential for understanding this article in a comprehensive manner. Here I share with you the vocabulary of this. Maneuver, a movement performed with care and skill. Parlance, a particular way of saying something, showing words or expressing yourself. For example, one used by a particular group. Nuance, a very slight difference in meaning, sound, color, or somebody's feelings that is not usually very obvious. Imperative is important, very important and needing immediate attention or action. Puddle, as all of us might be familiar with this word, it's a small amount of water or other liquid, especially rain, that has collected in one place on the ground. Advent is arrival, coming and arrival of some important event, person, invention, etc. Pathogens, thing that causes disease. Contaminant, a substance that makes something impure, that pollutes something. Lopsided is one-sided, and then comes cumbersome, large and heavy, difficult to carry. Bulky, microbe, an extremely small living thing that you can only see under a microscope and that may cause disease. And as a perennial focus has been on word combinations and some unique words which are very ordinary but we are not familiar with them. Avoidance, most of us are familiar with the word avoid, but maybe a few of us use avoidance in our expressions while writing something or in a day-to-day conversation. So as a whole, the whole idea is to make you sensitive towards words. The standard textbook line of action. This is one good expression in this article, apart from so many. So, and these are not the only words and phrases or word combinations or uses. There would be so many, and I would be sharing with you while discussing the editorial. And now I share with you the main article that we would go line by line. Let me share with you the editorial. Here comes the editorial. The science teaching and rationality India needs. During this pandemic, the writer observes what India as a nation needs to focus on. So science teaching and rationality. These are the key words, and most of the times entering a topic, the title is the best entry point into a piece of writing. So here, the science teaching and rationality India needs. The novel coronavirus crisis has fully revealed the price to be paid in the neglect of education and health. So the writer of this article is of the opinion that we have been not taking education and health sector so seriously, and that's why the cost that we are paying for this negligence of these two seminal sectors of societal welfare, including education and health. So, due to this negligence of these two sectors, we have paid a heavy cost, and the ongoing pandemic, novel coronavirus crisis, has fully exposed that how much we have paid for it. Taking a very close reading of the text, science teaching, rationality, and now how much we have paid for the negligence of these two seminal sectors of societal well-being, which are education and health. A speeding auto rickshaw driver once told me slowing down might not be very useful to avoid an accident. The writer starts this editorial with an anecdote. And this anecdote is a sustained anecdote. And in writing, most of the times, anecdotes are not true. They are imagined, as writers have one specific way of writing things. So it might be a fictionalized, not the realistic, but this anecdotal way of narrating or saying something, making your argument through an anecdote is always interesting, because as a society, we are an oral society, and Indian mind is the storytelling mind. And once it is a storytelling mind, it likes or it is inclined towards stories. So the writer says, a speeding auto rickshaw driver once told me that slowing down might not be very useful to avoid an accident. We have this popular belief that speed kills, but the auto rickshaw driver with whom the writer is engaged for a ride is of the contrary opinion, that it is not necessary that slowing down might not be avoid an accident. He was responding to my unease sitting behind him, feeling helpless about the consequence I might have to face on account of his reckless maneuvers, especially at turns and roundabouts. So the writer is not feeling comfortable at particularly at the roundabouts and the turns, because he is recklessly driving, and he is of the opinion, the driver is of the opinion that it is not necessary that if you slow down, it might not avoid an accident. I might have to face on account of his reckless maneuvers, especially at turns and roundabouts. He agreed to slow down because I asked him to, but he was not convinced that it would help avoid an accident. He is of the firm view that slowing down is not an option to avoid an accident. I was intrigued. The writer was interested to hear, intrigued means to be interested, to hear this view and asked him to elaborate. Once you have such a driver who is of the opinion that slowing down is not an option to avoid accident, so it is but natural that you become interested in knowing what's the logic behind it. So the writer also become curious. He becomes curious and he asks him to elaborate upon it. He said that if another vehicle was going to collide with him in the coming few minutes, speeding might save you from that collision, as if a Pandit has predicted that this vehicle will collide with it, and if we overspeed, we might save ourselves. The collision itself was a matter of destiny. Here comes the point. He is a believer in destiny, and there is no harm in believing in, and there is no harm in being a believer and believing in destiny. All of us have a firm faith in destiny. Maybe not all of us, but most of us have a faith in destiny. But having too much faith in and living each and everything, or taking destiny as a ploy for all our silly mistakes is not a prudent choice that one can make. The collision itself was a matter of destiny, no chance for him, and his logic was based on that perception. So his logic was based on perception, and the perception is that destiny determines all. He wanted to persuade me to realize that an accident is something inevitable. He says accident is inevitable, unavoidable, it cannot be avoided. When it is to happen, it will happen. Most of us also have the same sense कि अगर कोरोना होगा तो होगा ही, इसलिए no precautions. It's not a good thing. We must practice the precautions. We must take the precautions. We must practice all the guidelines, social distancing, wearing a mask, and washing hands at frequent intervals. But leaving everything and then inviting corona, inviting infection is not a, it's a silly thing that one can do. He wanted to persuade me to realize that an accident is something inevitable. When it is to happen, it will happen. Therefore, slowing down might invite it as much as speeding would. So if you are destined to meet an accident, whether you slow down or you speed up, you would be meeting in an accident. Therefore, it's entirely a matter of destiny, and slowing down is not an option to avoid an accident. In academic parlance, in academic phraseology, in academic wording, this kind of logic has long been regarded as an expression of fatalism. It's all on our fate. Too much of emphasis on fate, bhagya, destiny. This label does not allow nuances to be recognized in what is a broad framework for making sense of human life and its encounter with sudden changes, especially tragedies. Recalling this auto rickshaw driver's logic has helped me to make sense of arguments given in the context of diseases such as malaria and typhoid. The writer is taking up the example of malaria and typhoid. He's not directly entering into the present situation, but he's preparing he's preparing a pretext for the main argument to be argued. Whether you get it or not depends on your ability to avoid being bitten by a mosquito. In the case of this typhoid and malaria, the ability to avoid infection is the ability to avoid being bitten by the mosquito. मच्छर खाएगा तभी आप बच पाएंगे. तो आपके बचने की जो एबिलिटी है वो मच्छर के ना काटे जाने, आप अपने आप में इतने सक्षम हैं, इतनी आप में एबिलिटी है कि आप मॉस्किटो से काटे जाने से अपने आप को बचा सकें. That's the ability to avoid or to safeguard yourself from malaria and typhoid. Of course, not every mosquito and not every bite can cause malaria, but avoiding the proliferation, expansion. Proliferation is expansion, किसी चीज का फैलाव. But avoiding the proliferation of mosquitoes does not prevent the chances of being infected by the parasite that causes malaria. Carried by mosquitoes. Malaria, mosquitoes breed in stagnant water, and that's where the imperative avoidance begins. So the writer makes a point कि ऐसा नहीं है कि हर एक मच्छर से और हर एक मॉस्किटो बाइट से मलेरिया होता है. उसके लिए पर्टिकुलर एक ब्रीड होती है, वो स्टैग्नेंट वाटर में जो ब्रीड करते हैं मॉस्किटो, उसी से मलेरिया और टाइफाइड इस प्रकार की बीमारियां पहले हुआ करती थी. तो वहां पर हम अवॉइडेंस कर सकते हैं. मच्छर तो काट जाएगा, इट्स नॉर्मल थिंग, बट हम पर्टिकुलर एक जगह पे पानी को इकट्ठा होने दे रहे हैं, वहां पे the specific mosquito is breeding that is causing malaria and typhoid. So there we can avoid. उसमें आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि मच्छर तो काटेगा ही और मलेरिया, फिर अगर मच्छर काटेगा तो फिर मलेरिया भी होगा. Logic of avoidance. Pay specific focus on this logic of avoidance. Whether we invite something, whether we participate in something, and or we avoid something. Logic of avoiding is also a logic. Most of the rational beings, they boast of being analytical, they boast of being critical, they boast of being a number of things. But all things happen once we participate into something. Suppose somebody is provoking you through general references to something else other than you get the message and you accept that invocation and you respond. That's your failure. One other option might have been avoidance. You might have avoided it. At times you can also say to yourself, this nonsense is not worth my time. Your time is precious. Your time is important for you, for your development. Therefore, logic is also an avoidance. For many decades now, school children have scored marks by giving the correct answers to the question, how can mosquitoes be stopped from breeding in our neighborhood? लंबे समय से बच्चे इस प्रश्न का जवाब देकर नंबर लेते रहे हैं कि मॉस्किटो को अपने पड़ोस में रोकने से कैसे रोकें. It is a rare school that gives children a task of going around noticing stagnant puddles formed during the rainy season containing visible mosquito to larvae. The standard textbook line of action is to separate kerosene on stagnant water. कोई ऐसा शायद कोई ऐसा स्कूल हो जिसने कभी ये कहा हो कि आप रेनी सीजन में पडल्स को देखें जाके वहां पे किस प्रकार से मॉस्किटो ब्रीड हो रहा है, किस प्रकार से वो इन्फेक्शन के लिए प्रिपेयर हो रहा है, वहां पे उसकी ब्रीडिंग कैसे हो रही है, उसको देखने के लिए किसी स्कूल ने शायद कहा हो. एक स्टैंडर्ड टेक्स्ट बुक लाइन ऑफ एक्शन जो प्रिस्क्राइब की जाती है, जो पेपर में लिखने से मार्क्स भी मिलते हैं, वो है कि उस पानी पे केरोसिन डाल दो. No diagnose, no scanning, nothing, just only one solution. Separate kerosene over it. That's what municipal workers supposed to do, and that's what is taught in the lesson on the services that municipalities provide. As the pedagogic calendar goes, once a lesson has been delivered and the test based on it taken, there is no reason to recall its content in the later parts of the year, except for the final examination. तो जब आप ये हाइजीन पर ऐसा चैप्टर पढ़ाते हैं, मलेरिया, टाइफाइड, इन सब से बचने के लिए, उसके बाद उस पर टेस्ट लिया, फिर उस पर कोई उसको रिकॉल नहीं करेगा, कोई रिवाइज नहीं करेगा, कोई उसका लेना देना नहीं रहेगा फाइनल एग्जाम से पहले. फाइनल एग्जाम में बच्चा फिर वही लिखेगा कि पड़ोस में मॉस्किटो को सेपरेट होने से कैसे रोकें, और वो फिर लिखेगा केरोसिन के माध्यम से. इसके अलावा देयर इज नो यूसेज ऑफ दैट कंटेंट ऑफ हाइजीन. As the pedagogic calendar goes, once a lesson has been delivered and the test based on taken, there is no reason to recall its content in the later parts of the year, except for the final examination. So if malaria, dengue, and chikungunya persist during the long autumn and winter months, it is unlikely that a teacher will relate them to the lesson taught earlier on mosquito prevention. No teacher would do it. This is our problem. We never correlate what is there in the text. जो टेक्स्ट है, जो प्रिस्क्राइब टेक्स्ट है of any standard, उसमें जो भी कंटेंट है उसके पीछे एक लॉजिक है that why that content is there in the text. We never go for that. We never try to correlate things in the and when I say we never, I with some sort of exceptions. Exceptions are always there, so that way to compromise the this statement that might be very offending to someone who practices it. But by and large, no teacher correlates with correlates this content when there is a need to apply this content, when really there is a mosquito expansion, when mosquitoes are proliferating, causing malaria and typhoid. That at that time, that knowledge must have been applied, but hardly we apply that. Thus, while mosquitoes are avoidable, the diseases they cause take on an inevitable character, quite different from the inevitability that might auto rickshaw driver was associating with an impending accident. So there is a difference between accident and invitation. Whether we are inviting an infection or it is an accidental infection, there is a difference. There is a big difference between the two. Before the advent of antibiotics, typhoid fever and jaundice were life-threatening, and specifically in the case of children, doctors knew it was possible to prevent both these diseases by avoiding contaminated water, and thus could be done by boiling drinking water, but more usually boiling of water only started after someone had been diagnosed. Similar is the case with mask. No mask till I am declared that I am positive. Similar was the case. The society has been the same with some changes, but not big changes. And that could be done by boiling drinking water, but more usually boiling of water only started after someone had been diagnosed as suffering from typhoid or from jaundice. In any case, boiling was cumbersome and expensive, along with antibiotics. Water purifying devices and bottled water have distanced us from the grim experience associated with waterborne diseases prevalent before the 1970s. So this water being packed in the bottles and personal purifiers that we have at our homes, because of these we are distanced from the grim experiences associated with waterborne diseases. Common diarrhea is still a threat to the life and the health of the babies. It still exists. Instead of preventing it by ensuring the supply of clean water in all geographical locations, India as a nation has ended up addressing up the problem of drinking water by popularizing personalized devices. They have stopped addressing this issue, that it's a issue of personal hygiene, it's your personal responsibility as a state or some collective measures, and no public system. The absence of public system has proved costly both in health and in education. The teaching of science from the primary level was major policy initiative taken in the early decades of independence, through which the welfare state hoped to create general awareness on crucial matters of disease prevention and health. The main agenda जो प्राइमरी में साइंस को इंट्रोड्यूस करने का जो स्टेप था, वो एक बहुत भारी पॉलिसी इनिशिएटिव था कि शुरू से ही बच्चों को हाइजीन, हेल्थ, इन सब चीजों के बारे में अवेयरनेस लेके हम आए, ताकि महामारी और इस तरीके की चीजों से हम अपने आप को बचा सके. But the teaching of science is more than talking about science and telling students what ought to be done. जो पढ़ाया जा रहा है उससे ज्यादा महत्वपूर्ण ये है कि करना क्या है, what ought to be done, क्या किया जाना चाहिए, उस पे फोकस होना चाहिए. In the case of boiling water, for example, it is hardly enough to say that high temperatures kill microbes. To achieve the belief that it actually does, no one needs to see microbes with one's own eyes. How many of us have seen microbes with our own eyes? To be honest, I'm not one privileged who would have seen microbes. And I believe, and this is my experience, that most of us have not seen microbes. So once we have not seen what kind of, and that's why people take it so easily. The casual approach is simply because of the fact that we have never been exposed to such a academic setup where we would have seen all these microbes and all these germs and all these viruses and all this. That's why they hardly exist in a conscious mind. I'm so sorry. Let me adjust it for a comfortable view, and then we take it. For an overwhelming majority, our children, our system, our education fails to provide them this kind of experience, even at the higher secondary level. The idea that boiling purifies water remains a matter of giving the correct answer in the examination rather than a belief based on evidence seen through a microscope. This can hardly be described as a failure of education because the seed of a capable public system was never shown. Therefore, we could hardly expect a harvest. कभी भी ये एजुकेशन का फेलियर नहीं है, ये फेलियर कुछ उससे बड़ा है. And the sensible ones are capable of deciphering the meaning out of it. This can hardly be described as a failure of education because the seed of a capable public system was never shown. एक कैपेबल पब्लिक सिस्टम का बीज बोया ही नहीं गया. इसलिए इसको अगर हम शिक्षा की फेलियर माने तो वो भी गलत है. Therefore, we could hardly expect a harvest. और जब बीज ही नहीं बोया गया, उस कैपेबल पब्लिक सिस्टम का बीज ही नहीं बोया गया, तो आप उसकी फसल कैसे एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं? और अगर एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं तो how ethical or how rational it is. It is entirely an irrational thing that you are thinking of. The novel coronavirus crisis has fully revealed, it has exposed, it has shown us the price that the neglect of education and health has wreaked. So the kind of negligence that has been there on part of various levels from various sectors, we are paying for the same. And this ongoing pandemic novel coronavirus has shown us that how much we have paid for this negligence of the two sectors. Number one, education. Number two, health. COVID compulsion. Just this week, I had the opportunity to talk to a city-based rickshaw puller who had booked a seat in a private bus which would take him to his native village in Uttar Pradesh. The writer's sole point of attack is the rickshaw puller driver, rickshaw puller and auto rickshaw drivers. He is so much fascinated with them. And these are the people who are not entirely to be blamed for. Even the educated ones like you and me, we are also uh, culprits who have contributed in the expansion of this ongoing pandemic. Anyways, uh, when I asked him why he was going, he gave me the obvious answer I had expected, referring to the sheer inadequacy of income to sustain himself in the city. But then he mentioned another reason why he had to go urgently. And this had to do with a wedding in the village. Weddings on full swing, good, good. Maybe some of us are enjoying them. He had to, and this recent trend of dancing with distancing, dancing and distancing. So many captions. We see the WhatsApp status of the people around us. What they are dancing for? Is there seriously a matter of celebration when most of us are having or getting the information of losing a near or dear one? Nothing to be celebrated in these tough times. Still, people are so. So let them be so. Who are we to be judgmental about them? But then he mentioned another reason why he had to go urgently, and this had to do with a wedding in the village. He had to attend it. He said, otherwise his relatives would feel upset with him. It didn't help our conversation when I alluded to the risk of him contracting the novel coronavirus while traveling in a bus and later attending a wedding ceremony. He was not particularly interested in my concern that he must take away precaution and especially make sure that he did not remove his mask during this journey and during the wedding ceremony. His response to my concern for his well-being reminded me of what the auto rickshaw driver had said many years ago, namely that the inevitable cannot be avoided. जो होना है वो होना है, उसको avoid नहीं किया जा सकता. That is unavoidable. Even if it posed the risk of getting sick. My interlocutor also shared with me the feeling that the pandemic is mainly in the big cities and that villages are free of it. Is it the case? The coronavirus has entered the phase of community spread, and now positive cases in the villages are in hundreds, and in big villages maybe in thousands. Apparently, despite being on WhatsApp, he had not heard about the surge currently being witnessed across rural parts of northern India. But the most interesting part of this conversation had to do with the mask. If the mask, a bit like boiling water, what was the boiling water in those days before 1970s, is replaced with mask. Prevents an inevitable microbe from entering the human body. It is a matter of faith for someone who has no idea how world of invisible pathogens, the mask and the citizen. We are going to conclude it. We may wonder why several Western countries where education is supposedly better also failed to convince their citizens to wear masks. So it is not only the Indian population, it is not only we the people who are to be blamed for not wearing masks, though consistent calls are made, wearing a mask is a must. This argument is based on a positive stereotype of the West. Looking more closely at different countries, that compromise the West, one noticed sharply differentiated levels of quality of their school science. Over the last half century, some of the richest countries have allowed science at school to decline. India's education system, which was already impoverished, suffered severe cutbacks under the repeated waves of lopsided economic reforms. So things have been like this in the name of in the name of development. That was only one-sided development. Education sector faced severe cutbacks. New norms of public financing have undermined science teaching, robbing ordinary citizens of the intellectual resources they might have acquired during the childhood. So this act of decreasing or minimizing the budget for the education, though the loud claims are being made by different regimes, ruling regimes, but this is the situation that by reducing this portion of the budget, they have robbed citizens of the intellectual resources they might have acquired during childhood. But science teaching alone cannot create miracles. अकेले साइंस पढ़ाने से भी काम नहीं चलेगा. For science to mean anything, a rational social environment is needed. Moreover, सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत है एक rational social environment की, एक तार्किक सामाजिक परिवेश की जरूरत है. सबसे ज्यादा जो जरूरत है वो उस चीज की है. Moreover, for science to acquire meaning during school life, it is important that children grow up in ethos where dissent and debate are encouraged. ये भी equally important है कि जब बच्चे स्कूल में पढ़ रहे हैं तो ethos के बारे में और उनके पास में right to dissent and debate होना चाहिए कि हर एक चीज पे वो अपना तर्क वितर्क कर सकें और जो चीज सही नहीं है उसका विरोध भी कर सकें. That is essential. It is obvious that the benefits of science and its teaching do not accrue when the democratic order and the institution on which it is based are not in good health. So the writer drops several hints and several messages indirectly. All of us, I think, would be making the most of it. This rational social environment, all of us would be looking for, and we would contribute our level the best to fight against the ongoing pandemic. This is the fight of the survival. The history of the pandemics suggests, and this is the past experience of some people who have seen some sort of pandemics, because after each 100 years, the pandemics come, and we have not seen the pandemics. We are encountering them for the first time. We have read about the pandemics, and we are not making the most from those readings. But today, the fight is not against COVID. It is fight of survival. So be sensible and behave accordingly. With these words, I thank you all for watching this video. Thank you.